You know what absolutely blows my mind? How much the industry is still actually sleeping on Cardano. And if you don't believe me, just take a walk around the space. Go through Twitter, go through the polls, go through the mentions by some of these larger entities, and it never includes ADA. It never includes Cardano. And this is where there is a huge, huge opportunity in this space and why ADA may in fact be one of the better performers in this market cycle. In fact, some of these steps are already beginning. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell again. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So just for a little bit of context, I was just walking around looking for the Cardano whale news, not Cardano whale, the Twitter handle. What I was looking for was information because apparently whales added a bunch of ADA yesterday. Go figure. That's not surprising. They've been very heavily buying the dip. They've been accumulating. This is all a good sign. This is what we want to see for conviction. But what's interesting is I stumbled across a couple of these different threads by larger entities in the space, and they're saying, you know, what are some of the biggest or what projects do you believe in the most? And what's interesting is ADA continues to get snubbed from these time and time again. And what's happening is a lot of people are missing out on what's actually taking place with Cardano. And I think a lot of people get blinded by, you know, daily active users, no large stable coin within the ecosystem, stuff like that, that people consider to be detriments. But the problem is that stuff that can change in an instant. And what's interesting is even the discussions surrounding Cardano and ADA from much larger entities, they are changing by the instant. In fact, what we saw yesterday was some pretty big news by Tyler Winklevoss, one of the founders of Gemini. And what he said was, while I don't think ADA is suitable for a strategic reserve, I do think it is viable for listing on Gemini. We'll look into this. So after years of pushing or pressing the issue on this, just now we're finally starting to have this discussion. So what's happening here is the industry is starting to wake up a little bit, especially the much larger entities, governments, enterprises, exchanges, but yet retail still tends to be the laggard, right? They're still behind the game. They're missing what's actually happening here. And I think that this is where we have some pretty huge potential in this market cycle. You know, anybody that's still saying, oh, we can't do big things. We're not going to search to some insane price levels, really, because retail's sleeping on ADA in a big way right now. What happens when they wake up? What happens when there's a surge in activity within the Cardano ecosystem? What happens when some of these, you know, major partnerships or projects that are under NDA end up coming out? What we see is, you know, massive surges to the upside. Now, this isn't a guarantee or financial advice or anything like that. And what we're talking about are typically later market moves, right? The DeFi stuff, the exciting parts of DeFi, that tends to hit a little bit bigger later on in the market cycle. But we can't sleep on how good ADA has in fact been doing here. One of the better performers during the pump from November. One of the better coins, actually the best coin on the pump over the last 48 hours. One of the best to hold its value over the last 48 hours. That's where things are starting to change just a little bit, right? And just kind of looking at structure in general, I would just want to touch base on these very briefly again. Just looking at the ADA BTC chart. Well, we're up pretty significantly from BTC over the last 48 hours. We look at dominance, market dominance, still holding above 1% despite this massive retracement in the market. We're seeing all these right signs right now. And unfortunately, a lot of people are not connecting the dots yet. And I would say that that's good. Okay, I'm completely okay with that. I don't need my gains now. And I think everybody needs to get in this much longer term mindset. You know, I had previously thought that I was going to be taking some profit here in March, April, May. That's still my plan, at least as of right now. But the rate at which things are changing, we may need to start rethinking this cycle in general. And I don't mean the overall structure of the cycle. I mean how much potential ADA truly has, how much integration we may see from the Cardano ecosystem. It's all happening so fast. And I mean, there's so much stuff to talk about that we don't even get a chance to talk about on this channel just because it's happening so rapidly and there's so many different pieces of information. But there is a major foothold in the market that Cardano is beginning to capture. And the second that retail starts waking up, that is when we start seeing some major moves. In fact, I was talking with a viewer, and what I mentioned was that we're probably on the verge of seeing an XRP level pump. And I'm talking about the pump from November, the one where it ran from basically below 50 cents to over $3. That's where ADA is kind of at right now. That's basically a 6x. All right. Not guaranteeing anything. I'm not saying this is going to happen for sure. But if people aren't noticing the traction yet, if you're not connecting the dots, if you're still pissed off about where ADA's at, understand this path that ADA and Cardano are on right now. It is huge. It is one of the largest in the crypto space. And this is where, yes, ADA does in fact start potentially being mentioned in discussions with Bitcoin, Ethereum. Don't want to necessarily name Ethereum because Ethereum's been crap lately, and XRP, right? This is a very big deal. And over time, people are going to start realizing what is happening. So I appreciate you guys as always. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.